Hey everyone, my name is Barker Herman. Today I want to talk a little bit about how much do you believe that nurture influences who you are today? And how much do you believe that nurture influences who you are today? And Carol Dweck has done a lot of work on what is the biggest indicator of success in a child, and it is the mindset. And so I want to talk about mindset versus um, culture, right? Nurture, so to speak. So I grew up in India, as you know. I'm a woman in technology. I never saw a computer till I was 21 years old. I hear people talk about how, um, one of the reasons why people don't succeed is because they don't have access to whatever, machines, whatever. Um, the funny thing is, uh, I didn't have access, but as soon as I got access, I skilled up way beyond everybody else. So that's just one anecdote, but I want to share a story, a discussion that I had with somebody today. Now, when I was growing up in India, I was the youngest child, and my son, my brother, was the older child. And not only was he the older child, but he was the boy, so he was considered um, important, right? He was the firstborn, and he was considered important, and I was like the little girl, right? And don't get me wrong, I was very loved and very supported. However, there was a difference between the way my parents and my family treated my brother and me. And the difference wasn't that they gave me less love or less material things. That wasn't the difference. The difference was very subtle. The difference was that my brother was expected to be somebody because he was the man, right? So he was expected to excel at school. He was expected to have a career. He was expected to accomplish things and this and that. And for me, it didn't matter what I achieved. Everything that I achieved was great, right? I got appreciated whether I achieved or not. In other words, even little wins from me were just great. Now, the funny thing about that is, I always saw that growing up as a burden for my brother, not for me. I was free because I could do whatever. There was no expectation from me. And so I always saw that as a positive. Now, you can look at it as positive or negative. In fact, it's neutral, right? The whole thing is neutral. Now, my brother grew up to be a great provider and a father and husband and all that good stuff. But that's besides the point. But he was always expected to do that. Me, I left home at a fairly young age and created a different world on the other side of the planet. But speaking to this person today, they grew up with a similar experience and they are resentful. She is resentful of it because the way she looks at it is that her brother is expected to do this, that, and everything, and she is not. And so, I'm paraphrasing this. This is not the extent of her discomfort, but she was like, boo hoo, I'm not as important, whatever. It's very interesting to me because it's the same framework, different families, different background, different country, different culture, different ages. She's much younger than me. But the interpretation is so different, right? So, what my assertion is that your quality of life is influenced by your perceptions. So, whereas I grew up all my life enjoying the fact that I had this unique freedom because I was the girl child and I wasn't expected to do hardly anything. I thought it was great because then that translated, in my mind, I could do whatever I want. Whereas my brother was kind of stuck. He had to do certain things. And, the lady I spoke to today, her perception was very different than mine. And that's to me, that's very interesting. And so what I'm trying to say is that the way we see our nurturing matters. Um, Going back to Carol Dweck, you can look at um, the situation, and somebody in one of the meetings said, toxic positivity, and I tend to be very positive, but I don't do it to be toxic. I feel like the way you perceive things drives the quality of your life. So if you have something like this happen, and you look at it as, woe be me, because nobody pays attention. That's one way to go through life. And no one thinks of me as important. Or other is, hey, I have the freedom to choose whatever I want, because hey, it's not that I can't screw up, right? So it's just a way of looking at things in my mind. One of the other encounter I had today was with a group of women, and one of them was like, um, uh, I brought up something, and somebody got upset in a meeting, and it's very interesting to me that they weren't curious about, they were injured clearly, but they wouldn't consider that the other party could have been injured also. So they said something in a team setting. The other person did a one-on-one with them and said, hey, that wasn't very whatever, I don't know the words they used. And yet this person that I was speaking to was very injured. And it was kind of interesting to me, is that, personally, I would have seen it as a, wow, this is an opportunity for me to connect with this human being. And I pushed a button. Clearly, they got a little upset. And let me learn more, and let me find out. I would take this opportunity to get curious and get to know them better. Um, I'm in technology because I like problem solving, and some of the biggest challenges in life, or some of the biggest problems to solve, is human relationships, right? So it was very interesting to me, the perspective. And so this is my assertion. My assertion is that your perception defines your quality of life. So let me know what you think about it. Am I being too simplistic? I've been accused of that from time to time. But I do think it's that simple. I think that how you look at things, because events are neutral, and the interpretation that you give them is the quality of your life, or the quality of your experiences of the event. So that's the only thing I can control, and I prefer a positive interpretation. So maybe I am the toxic positivity person that they're talking about. Anyway, let me know what you think, and please like and subscribe this video.